Welcome to The Explainer. You've probably heard the word DevOps thrown around a lot, right? Well, today we're going to peel back the layers on that buzzword and really look at how this whole philosophy is changing the game for software development.
Okay, so to really get what DevOps is all about, you gotta go back in time a little. Picture this, a world where there's this huge invisible wall running right down the middle of pretty much every tech team.
So you had the developers on one side, and their whole goal was to push out new features, make changes, and innovate, like super fast. But then on the other side of that wall, you had the operations team. Their job? Keep everything stable. Don't let anything break. See the problem? These goals are in total conflict. It didn't just slow things down, it created this blame game, this massive bottleneck that was just crushing innovation.
So how do you fix that? Well, you don't just take a bigger hammer to the wall. No, you get smarter. You build a bridge. And, you guessed it, that bridge is DevOps. All right, let's break that down. First, you've got the dev side. These are the folks creating the software, right? They're handling everything from planning and coding to testing.
And then you've got the ops team. They're the ones who take over once the software is live. They're handling all the support, keeping the servers running, basically keeping the lights on. The big issue? These two teams were basically strangers.
So DevOps is really just this, taking development and operations and smashing them together. It's not just a new process, it's a huge cultural shift. The whole idea is to get these two groups to stop working in silos and start acting like one single unified team. And this is probably the most important thing to remember. DevOps isn't some piece of software you can just go buy. It's not a job title. It's a mindset, a philosophy. It's all about collaboration, about everyone sharing responsibility for the final product. And why? The end goal is simple. Get better software out to the customer and do it way, way faster. Okay, so that's the philosophy, but what does it actually look like in practice? Well, it's not a straight line from A to B. Think of it more like an infinite loop, a cycle that never really ends. This loop has a few key stages. You've got your planning, your coding, building the software, and testing it. Then comes deployment, getting it out into the world. But here's where the magic happens. The final step is monitoring. And all that data you get from monitoring, performance stats, bug reports, what users are actually doing, that doesn't just get filed away. Nope. It feeds directly back into the planning phase. And just like that, the loop starts all over again. This is the real engine of DevOps, creating this constant cycle of learning and improving. Now, obviously, you can't have a loop like this running 24/7 if people are doing everything by hand. It would be impossible. So, this whole process is powered by a pretty powerful engine of automation, and that means we need to talk about tools. And listen, there are a ton of DevOps tools out there, but you can usually group them into a few main categories. You've got tools for version control, tools for what's called continuous integration, and tools for containerization. Think of these as the real nuts and bolts that make that bridge we talked about actually work. It all kind of starts with version control. A tool like Git is absolutely essential. It basically keeps track of every single change made to the code. This creates a single source of truth that everyone can rely on. Without that, collaboration would be a total nightmare. Then you have something called continuous integration, or CI. Think of a tool like Jenkins as an automated quality inspector. Every single time a developer pushes new code, Jenkins jumps in, automatically builds it, and runs a bunch of tests. This means you catch bugs almost instantly, not like weeks later when it's already a huge problem. And finally, there's containerization. You ever hear developers say, well, it works on my machine? Tools like Docker are designed to kill that problem forever. They bundle up an application with everything it needs to run, all the code, libraries, the whole shebang, into one neat little package called a container. That way, it'll run exactly the same no matter where you put it. Okay, so that's the culture, the infinite loop, and the tools that power it. But let's get to the big question. Why should a business care? What's the actual payoff here? Well, the impact is real, and you can actually measure it. Get this. Companies that really embrace DevOps see, on average, a 22% improvement in the quality of their software. That's a huge deal. But it's not just about quality. The real business advantages are speed and agility. When you tear down those walls, you can get new features out to your customers so much faster. You can react to market changes in days, not months. And in today's world, that's a massive, massive competitive edge. So when you boil it all down, DevOps isn't really a destination, right? It's not a finish line you cross. It's an ongoing journey. It's a fundamental change in how people work together to build amazing things. So I guess the real question for you to think about is, where is your team on that DevOps journey?